Is TikTok really going to be banned? Here's what we know. So, what's with all the new drama? Of course, we all heard about what's going to happen with TikTok. Is it really going to be banned? That's exactly what we're going to discuss today. At the beginning of July this year, President Trump mused about banning the popular short video app TikTok, which has reportedly been downloaded over 165 million times in the US. His comments came a day after Secretary of State Mike Pompeo floated such a ban as part of an escalating trade war with China. They have stated on the record to Fox News that the Trump administration is considering banning TikTok for American users. When pressed for a reason, Pompeo cited privacy concerns and warned that users who download the app could have their data end up in the hands of the Chinese Communist Party. Because of that, in a matter of days, TikTok has become the scariest social network in the world. Although it is operated from within the US, it's owned by the China-based ByteDance, and much of the anxiety comes from an uncertainty over exactly how much control ByteDance has over TikTok's daily operations. Like Huawei before it, TikTok has become an avatar of US anxieties over Chinese espionage, spurred on by decades of increasingly aggressive hacking and intellectual property theft. Those concerns mean that many users will simply never accept a China-based social network on US phones. So while the last week's defections might look like the standard privacy scandal, they're part of something much thornier and harder to solve, with scarier implications of the internet at large. Last month, India banned TikTok and several apps from China, citing security concerns. Personal technology and geopolitics are becoming increasingly intertwined. Last summer, there was a similar privacy freakout over the Russian-made Face app, a program that takes photos of people and ages them with artificial intelligence. Advising everyone to just delete TikTok out of caution isn't so simple. It has been downloaded more than 2 billion times, and millions of young Americans are relying on it for connection during the coronavirus pandemic. And now, is the TikTok app really spying on users for the Chinese government? Well, it depends on how you view businesses in China and their close relationship with the government. The company has repeatedly stated that the Chinese government has not asked it to remove any content, and that, if it does, the company will not comply. But such reassurances have not satisfied the international community. For example, there are a few videos on TikTok concerning the Hong Kong protests, even though the largely youth movement has garnered massive international attention. Is this because TikTok censored them? Or is it because, as the platform said in a statement issued by its parent company, few users posted them? After American teenager Feroza Aziz posted a video condemning the Chinese government's mass detention of Uyghur Muslims that went viral, her account was suspended. TikTok asserted the suspension was the result of an earlier satirical video of hers referencing Osama bin Laden being mistakenly flagged or violating for the app's anti-terrorism policy. Thanks to Apple, evidence was found too and shared with people. The app was caught spying upon users who were using iOS 14 by accessing the clipboard on their devices. Earlier, TikTok had stated that it would stop reading content on users' clipboards. However, it was found snooping on people's data and was caught red-handed. This was figured out because of a new feature in Apple iOS 14's beta version, which sends notifications to users whenever an app is found accessing data. A security patch from Apple has suddenly exposed just how many smartphone apps are reading users' clipboards every time they are on screen. But while the Trump administration has talked about banning TikTok, it's unclear how exactly such a ban would be carried out. Any sort of decree ordering people not to use the app would likely be unconstitutional and would be met with resistance from millions of Americans, especially young ones, for whom TikTok has become a form of cultural expression. However, last Friday, President Trump told reporters on Air Force that, as far as TikTok is concerned, we're banning them from the United States. Trump also dismissed the idea of letting a US company buy TikTok's US business, as Microsoft is interested in doing. Trump's move is not exactly surprising. It comes after months of posturing and rhetoric, with the Trump administration claiming Huawei, TikTok, and other China-owned companies present a national security threat to the United States. TikTok, meanwhile, has desperately tried to outrun that idea. It hired an American CEO, promised to hire 10,000 people in the country, launched the TikTok Transparency Center in Los Angeles, and even offered a thorough explanation of its algorithm. TikTok has become the latest target, but we are not the enemy, wrote the American CEO Kevin Mayer in a blog post this week. But of course, after all this, a TikTok spokesman made a statement. These are the facts. 100 million Americans come to TikTok for entertainment and connection, especially during the pandemic. We've hired 1,000 people to our US team this year alone, and we are proud to be hiring another 10,000 employees into great paying jobs across the US. Our $1 billion creator fund supports US creators who are building livelihood from our platform. TikTok US user data is stored in the US, with strict controls on employee access. TikTok's biggest investors come from the US. We are committed to protecting our users' privacy and safety as we continue working to bring joy to families and meaningful careers to those who create on our platform. But it's not clear how a Trump order to ban TikTok would work, or if it would stand up in court. The Trump administration might try to threaten to punish Apple and Google if they carry TikTok in their US app stores by adding TikTok to the Commerce Department's list of foreign entities that present a greater risk of diversion to weapons of mass destruction programs, terrorism, or other activities contrary to US national security and/or foreign policy interests. The ACLU slammed Trump's threat to ban TikTok as harmful to free expression and pointed out that it's technically impractical. Banning an app like TikTok, which millions of Americans use to communicate with each other, is a danger to free expression and technologically impractical, the ACLU tweeted. We should be concerned about the risk that the sensitive private data will be funneled to abusive governments, including our own. Jennifer Granick, the ACLU Surveillance and Cybersecurity Council, said in a statement Saturday. But shutting one platform down, even if it were legally possible to do so, harms freedom of speech online and does nothing to resolve the broader problem of unjustified government surveillance. In a video shared on Twitter Saturday, TikTok US General Manager Vanessa Pappas thanked the millions of Americans who use TikTok every day, bringing their creativity and joy into our daily lives. We're not planning on going anywhere, Pappas said. TikTok is a home for creators and artists to express themselves, their ideas, and connect with people across different backgrounds, and we are so proud of all the various communities that call TikTok their home. And now, what about the people's opinion about this ban? Many people shared their thoughts about it on social media. Some were shocked and some, well, they were not disappointed at all. Although TikTok app has lots of fans worldwide, it does also have lots of critics too. Many people think the app is only a way to dance in front of millions of people and think their content is useless and uncreative. But as we can see, many people do show their talents on this app, and it has become a way to show all the world what a person has to offer, with new content every day. Now let's take a look on some opinions about this news. Morgan Ikrak started posting on TikTok in May 2019. She now has nearly 4 million followers and now mostly posts videos about her experience working at a coffee shop outside of Portland, Oregon. I really enjoyed it, she said. It's my first time. Kind of building a platform for myself that turned into something that's led to me being like kind of a micro public figure. When Ikrak first heard the news of a potential ban on TikTok, she said her initial reaction was of fear and frustration. Nigel Braun, another TikTok creator, said all he could do was laugh at the news. I laughed because I was like, of course TikTok's going to shut down, he said. Now that we actually got established on it, that's just when it all gets shut down. As for the news of a potential ban on TikTok in the US, Braun said he'd be sad to see the app go. It's unfortunate because I was happy with how well we were doing, he said. My first thought was that it's not going to happen, said Dalidar Griffin, who mainly posts comedy videos to her 500,000 followers on the app. It's important to diversify your platform, said Griffin. Send people to your YouTube or your Twitter or your Instagram, just so you can kind of cover all your bases.